what is this woman doing on this cover? And why is there a bird, a
Uh-huh.
cardinal that
Right.
she's looking up to? It's just, the symbolism for me was that the red bird is something that you don't see very often when, especially where I live in Texas.
Hello, and welcome to Story Power, a bi monthly podcast I created because I'm an unabashed story lover. Stories have had a huge impact on my life, starting with the family movie night discussions my parents instituted when I was a child. I want to share that love with you. As cognitive scientist Roger C. Shanks says, humans are not ideally set up to understand logic. They are ideally set up to understand stories. I'm making it my mission to not only spread the love of stories, but all the valuable things they teach us about human nature and relationships. We humans are emotional creatures, and stories help us examine our emotions from a comfortable distance. They also help us walk in the shoes of the characters to help us see the world in new ways. It's my hope you gain some valuable insights from my guests.
Welcome, Story Power listeners. Today is episode 132, and I'm talking to Diandra Ford-Wing about her book, The Red Bird. Or is it just Red Bird?
Just red bird.
Red Bird. And I read it. And so I'm so excited to talk to you about it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Lucinda.
Yeah, and now it's not a very old book. So how are sales going? And I want you to tell a little bit about the book and why you wrote it, and then we can talk about it, okay?
Yeah, sales are up on the book. They were initially when the book came out in November of 2025. It took a while to ramp up and just to
Mm-hmm.
get the word out about the book. But I
Mm-hmm.
think now I have a pretty level um, sale of books. So I
Oh,
think I'm
good.
doing okay. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. So being on podcasts and things like that help your book, right?
Oh my goodness, tremendously, tremendously.
Now, how many have you been on? How many podcasts?
This is my, I think, 13th or 14th.
Oh, good. So good. Keep going. Keep going.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will. Of course, I will.
That's great. Now I loved the book for one. Oh, let you tell about the book. You tell a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit.
So Redbird is basically it's a short novella slash memoir, and it's about losing those that are close to you. And specifically for me, it was my aunt passing first. She was very close in age to me, and then my mom passing 14 months later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a crushing blow like the first go around. But then to
Hmm.
lose my mom, I was lost. I didn't know where to go. So I started, journaling and writing down my thoughts. And then I was like, well, maybe I should make it such that I talk about my current narrative, which is basically I've lost these two important women in my life, and then kind of pepper it with stories about my growing up, about my past, about being a military brat, and all of those things. So
Yeah.
it just kind of naturally organically came together into like this little book.
Yeah. And did you have like a publisher or an editor to help you with that, with the
I did.
formation of it?
So really, by and large, the publishing world is so hard to break into. So what I
Mhm.
ended up doing is actually self-publishing through Amazon Digital Publishing. So I did that. I was
Mhm.
assigned an editor for my book. I had someone um, help me with the cover of the book, and
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
it just
Mhm.
came together so magnificently.
Yes, we independently published our two books too. My two
Oh,
books.
good for
Oh,
you.
yeah, but my husband's a graphic artist, so I
Oh,
have this
beautiful.
built-in. Yeah, I always point that way because his office is right next to mine. Um, yeah, and he's retired now, so yeah, but that's so fantastic. And the thing that I love about it, your cover is so striking
Thank
that
you. I
that
had a
you
vision.
yeah, and you want to pick it up. You want to pick it up and look at it. Like, what
Yeah, like
is this?
what is this woman doing on this cover and why is there a bird, a
Uh-huh.
cardinal that
Right.
she's looking up to? It's just I the symbolism for me was that the red bird is something that you don't see very often when especially where I live in Texas, but we don't get cardinals a lot. And for me, the red bird symbolism for my family is a very important thing because when my granddad died a couple of years prior to my aunt and my mom passing, um, my mom, we were at at the repast, and there was
Mhm.
a bird, a cardinal, and my niece picked it out. She's like, "Hey, you guys, look, there are two of them." And my mom was just like, "That's nothing but granddad telling us he's okay and that he made
Yeah.
it safely to the other side."
Yeah.
And from that moment on, before I even started writing the book, I knew that I wanted it to be called Redbird.
Yes. Now, two really interesting things. We went to a wedding in March
Hmm.
15th, and they had these little heart things with the magnet on the back, and
Yes.
it had a red cardinal on it, and it was for all the people that they were remembering who were passed,
Hmm.
who they wanted to honor and say they're with us today.
Yes.
And that was before you even or before your whoever your PR person
Yeah.
contacted me. And then after, and I said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like really interesting." And I started reading. It was even before I started reading your book. We live in southern Arizona. In fact, we live a mile from the Mexican border,
Okay.
and we get cardinals, but it's like they're migrating. So we see
Oh,
that, we
you see
might
them.
see, yeah, for a few days, and but not this year. We have one that I think
Wow.
is nesting, a couple that are nesting, because we see them almost every day. Even just a few days ago, we saw the
Oh,
red
that
cardinal.
is, oh my gosh. I always consider it a blessing because when
Yeah,
I see them, because they're so few and far between here, I
yeah.
I just oh, it makes the hair on my arm
Y-
stand up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have a kind of, it looks like a cardinal. It's called a Pyralaxia,
Yes.
and we have a lot of those. And
Hmm.
well, I love those, but it's
They're
so
beautiful.
interesting to have the cardinal too. And I noticed that the cardinals are a little bit bigger than the
Yes.
Pyralaxia.
They've got some meat on them.
Yeah, so I just thought that was so interesting. It was like, oh, I'm supposed to be reading this book. I'm supposed to be talking to Deandra. Uh, and we've had last 2024, we and 20 at the end of 2023, we had a lot of deaths in our family too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, and one of them was my cousin who she wasn't she was 58 when she died.
Oh,
And my mom died in February of 2024.
that's when my
So,
mom died.
February? Really?
Uh-huh, February 21st.
You know what? I think my mom was the 23rd.
Oh,
Oh, see,
wow.
we are supposed to be talking to
We
each
are
other.
supposed to be talking. Yes, that's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. Now, oh wow. So when I kept seeing the cardinal, I said, "Oh, there's mom. Hi, mom."
Yeah, always. That's always
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah. So this year, 2025, about a year after she died, we had a big memorial in Quartzsite where my parents lived when my dad
Okay.
died, 21 years ago. And we had spread my dad's ashes out in the desert.
Of
And
course.
so that's what we did with moms. We spread them out in the desert, kind of close to where we spread dads, and
Oh,
had this little family reunion kind of thing. And it was really just lovely. It was
I love
lovely.
that.
Yeah. So I, I just connected with your book. And one thing I loved about it was you kind of start in the middle
Yes.
and then you go, I like that structure. I kind of like that structure. Where
I
you
didn't
start
know
in the
how
middle.
I wouldn't know. I didn't know how it was going to go over. So I was just like, this is the way I'm doing it. This is the way the writing happened for me.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
that's how I kept it structured.
Yeah, really, I loved it.
Thank
So now,
you.
did you ever find out what happened to your aunt?
No, it is still something that pokes at me because during the entire process of, trying to repatriate her remains to the United
Yeah.
States and all of that jazz, it was just it was overwhelming. And at one point, I had messaged the U.S. Embassy over in the Gambia, and I
Mm-hmm.
just said, I wanted you guys to be aware that there are women on social media, Black women, talking about their loved ones dying overseas, specifically in the Gambia. Like there
Mm-hmm.
have been a slew of Black, American women who have gone there to either become an expat or visit for a while or what have you. But he just said, I am aware. And that was just wow.
But
Like I no, yeah.
but it, it- every country is different, and so sometimes investigating those kind of things is hard.
It's hard. And they're such a poor country that they don't have the resources, the infrastructure to kind of set out to find what happened truly with my aunt.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So having that question mark, sometimes that's really painful.
it's painful. And
Yeah.
it's something that doesn't resolve itself because there's always questions, especially when you,
Yes.
even though I had ordered an autopsy, did all of that stuff, it really to me came back as kind of inconclusive. Like
Mm.
she just died. But that was similarly how my mom's aunt and my mom's mom died. So my grandmother died the same way, and she was only 48 when she passed
Oh dear.
in her sleep. Yes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh
So it
dear.
was reminiscent of the way that my grandmother had died, in that she had gone to bed and just never saw
Woke
the
up.
light of day the next day. Same with my
Oh.
mom. She had passed during the morning time,
Mm.
and she had texted us that morning to say that she was feeling okay because she had had a sinus infection. And the next day she died. I don't, the autopsy was still something that was inconclusive. To
Yeah.
me, it was the very same scenario. Very same scenario.
Yes. It's so interesting.
I know. I know.
And yeah, and then that leaves you with, well, what am I supposed to think about that? What am I supposed to learn from that?
I
I mean,
know.
oh dear, yeah. I mean, because with my parents, we knew my father had heart disease, and
Oh,
he'd lived 20 years after his well, he had a second heart surgery in 1996.
okay.
But yeah, he had lived with that for 20 some years.
Okay.
And really it was, I think, the medication, taking that medication for so many years, that
Probably.
kind of, his organs started to shut down.
Oh,
So, but we knew that. We knew
yeah.
he was going to go at some point. And then my mother, we had a 90th birthday celebration for her in 2023.
Hmm.
And then shortly after that, she's just started to decline. And my youngest sister was taking care of her. And they had to put her, she had to, I think she was in like 5 different facilities
Oh,
in that last year. But eventually when her organs started shutting down, she started to get dementia. And
oh no.
she just went. But she was the last one of my father's siblings, and her sister, her younger sister, had already died. So she was the last one of her generation
Oh my word.
to be alive, and she was 91 when she died. And she lived a really good life, but we knew that it
Yeah,
was coming. When it
of
happens
course.
suddenly,
It
that's,
just knocks you on your ass. I don't know how else to say it
I
because my
know.
mom had just turned 70 the month prior. So she
Oh,
wasn't, like 80 or 90. She was
right.
just made 70. And she, like
Yeah.
I said, never been a sick a day in her life. And she had gone to the doctor prior to her death the day before, and they didn't say anything. They said she was dehydrated. So they gave her an IV bag of fluids at the office. And then she ended up going home with the prescription for just her sinus infection. And that was it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the next day she's gone.
I wonder if it was a reaction to the medication.
She hadn't taken it yet. She picked it up, but she
She
didn't
hadn't
take
even
it.
taken it yet. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
I know. It's just there's so many questions, and I was so angry for the first, couple of months because I was just like,
Yeah,
this is really making me mad because I had more time to spend with her.
right.
I feel like she was healthy and had all of her faculties. She wasn't,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
struggling to walk. She was just a human being.
Yeah.
And now
Uh-huh.
she's been taken from me. And it broke me to a place I didn't
Mm.
think that I ever could end up.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially if you're very close.
We were so close. We talked like 5 times a day,
Yeah. See
if
that
not more.
my cousin who died when she was 58, she and her mother were very, very close.
Okay.
And when she died, she was devastated by that. Well, so she thought she was supposed to take care of her father.
Oh, okay.
And so they moved her father onto their property. He lived in his like little trailer, but they took care of him. And then when he died, she only lasted about a year later.
Oh,
And what happened was she just was having stomach trouble, went to the doctor finally, and they said, you have cancer and it's
oh,
practically through your whole body.
no.
It was only 6 weeks, I think, that she lived after that. And
Oh,
I know, and we were all like, what? Well,
yes.
I mean, we couldn't. I still think of Tom and Sue. Oh no, wait, Sue's not there anymore. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you have to remind yourself. I did for a long time
oh
because of the
yeah,
muscle memory of reaching for the phone and calling my mom.
yes,
It was
yes.
so difficult.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, of course, it was mostly difficult for her husband and her sister,
of course.
but when we gathered for her memorial, it was like we were all sort of like in shock, you know.
Yeah, when stuff like that happens, I think that my immediate go-to is just to spring into action.
Hmm.
I immediately got into planning her memorial with my siblings, my sisters and
Hmm.
brother,
Hmm.
and I eulogized my mom.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I did it mainly because I didn't think anybody else could do better, and secondly, because it gave me something to focus on
Right.
because I spent days and nights writing this eulogy and
Right.
it just gave me something to do
Yeah.
in the moment, because we were just overwhelmed with having to get her affairs in order. And my mom was so good about keeping her papers in a place that was easily found. So when
Hmm.
we went to her house the day that she died, the detective gave us this manila envelope, and in it were her will and just her last things that she wanted taken care of. And
Hmm.
she had xed out on her will that she wanted to not be buried, but to be cremated. And it
Hmm.
was in her writing, and she signed it, and we just followed everything to the letter of what her
Hmm.
wishes were. So we had her cremated. I believe my mom died at February 21st, and then we had the memorial on February 27th or something like that. We
Hmm.
did not waste any time. We
Yeah.
wasted no time.
Yeah.
So I just the only thing that gives me solace is the fact that we honored her wishes and that we sent her off with a beautiful, beautiful memorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it a year later because we have family living in Florida and in Washington State, and we live in Arizona, and my brother lives in Colorado, and
Yeah, so you're
you
all
know,
over.
yeah, and cousins who live in Oregon. Yeah, so we had to plan ahead.
Of
And
course.
since we wanted to do it in Arizona, my brother said, "Oh, we could do it, in the summer." I said, "No, no, 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 no. It's dangerously hot
Yeah, it's
in
too hot in
Arizona,
Arizona.
where they live too, where they used to live." So we chose a year
Okay,
from
that
when
makes
she died.
sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's why. But every family has to do it differently.
Hmm.
And yeah, so and you all kind of live close to each other, right?
We do. I live in Austin, and my sisters and brother live in a town called Killeen or Fort Cavazos. It's basically where the military base is. It used to be Fort Hood, now it's Fort
Mhm.
Cavazos, and
Mhm.
they were so close. When it all happened that day, I ended up getting to my mom's house in the span of 45 minutes because we were going so fast, my husband and I, on the toll road. We were
Right.
just like, we're not going to go on the highway. We're taking the toll and we're going to get there as fast as possible. And we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, you are a twin, right?
I am.
Yeah. Was it your twin sister that moved into your mom's house?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
now is it hard? I mean, don't, for me, it wouldn't be, but is it hard to go into her house when she's not there?
No, it was weird the day after she died because we convened to go over the will together and get everything in motion, with
Yeah.
her, with everything. So, when I walked in the next day after having been there, watching her body, be escorted on this gurney out to the medical van, that was weird. The next day was weird, but ever since then, I it doesn't bother me as
Oh,
much as
that's
I
good.
thought it would. And
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
asked my twin, Dion, I was like, "Are you sure that you want to live in this house? Like,
Yeah.
mom died here." And she was like, "Well, we just can't, sell the property because she worked her life for this house when her and my dad got divorced." And
Yeah.
she was right. The house
Yeah.
is paid for. So why
Yeah.
would we,
Right. Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. The house is in good condition and it's a great house. And
Yeah.
we gather there often for family events, for holidays. We got together for Mother's Day this year and we'll do it again for Christmas. It's just, that's our home.
Yeah.
Wherever she was our home.
Yeah, and maybe in a way, her spirit is still there.
It is. I know
Yeah,
that it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I talked with a guest, oh, last year sometime,
Okay.
who had her father was not in the military. He was an engineer, and so they lived
Mhm.
in places outside the United States because he was building bridges or
Of course.
dams or those kinds of things. And she said when she came back to the United States, somebody said to her, "You are a third culture kid," which she had never heard of that before. Now
Mm.
you lived outside the United States, right?
All my life. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're a third culture kid too.
Well, look at there. I have a new label.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give you a label.
No,
Uh,
it's all good. I'm comfortable with labels. It's all good. I've never heard
but
that, but I'm going to use it.
I had never heard it either, and she hadn't either. And she said it was really difficult for her when they moved back to the United States
Me too, it
because the
was.
cultures are so different.
Totally night and day. Like they're not even anywhere in the same realm.
Yeah,
Living overseas and then coming back to the US is such a culture shock.
yeah.
And it's something that you really don't get to prepare yourself for because you're thinking people are people, right? No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No, they're not.
yeah. Well, I mean, I am not a third culture kid, but when Barry and I took our trip around the world in 1996, when we would get to a country,
Hmm.
like India was the most difficult. But we'd have to kind of stand back and watch how things worked
Work. Hmm.
before we could kind of feel a little, oh, okay, I think we know how to navigate here,
Yeah, it's interesting to be like an American living overseas and then coming back to America.
Mhm.
You're not at all prepared for just the shock of it all to your
Oh,
system.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And what was it like were you in school when you came back?
I was. So when we came back to the US, it was high school years. So
Oh.
I would have been going into, I believe it was either my sophomore year or my freshman year of high school.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't that we could make friends. That wasn't it. Because the town that we were in was the military town. So
Oh.
that was a welcome,
Hmm.
because the base was within like a 5 mile radius of the town itself.
Yeah.
And so that was easy. But when we had little like rests in between being in Germany and being in the United States during the Desert Storm #1, we basically displaced because we had nowhere to go. We were in the middle of PCSing back to Germany when all this happened. So we were grounded and we had to go back to my mom's hometown of Albany, Georgia, and we lived there until the war, had ceased.
Was yeah.
But it was just, that was a culture shock more than anything, because I had come from going to elementary school in Germany and then coming
Uh-huh.
to the US and going to elementary school in a non-military town. It was hard. Those
Oh,
kids made fun of everything that I did, the way that I talked, the way that I dressed. It was just, it was annoying at best.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what because this woman that I talked to went I think it was the Philippines or someplace like that.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
they were dressing in that
Right.
culture that they had come from.
Right.
So it's for you it was the same thing. Yeah,
It was the same
they
thing. I was wearing like United Colors of Benetton. Like
yeah.
like that's what I was wearing. Clothes
Uh-huh.
like that and like big
Uh-huh.
Benetton earrings and just things like that. And it was, they couldn't make heads or tails of it. So I was, you know,
Weird.
basically beat up.
Yeah. Oh.
And well, not physically, but yeah, it did get physical sometimes. But I just remember this one time I was at the elementary school and it was lunchtime. We went to lunch as a group, as a class, and we had to stop by the restroom, and five would go in at a time because there were five stalls, and then the teacher's aide, would be outside waiting for us. And so I had gone to a stall, I had to pee really bad. And one of my bully, Melanie, she was such a jerk, but she ended up holding the bottom of the stall door closed so I could not get out.
Yeah.
And I just remember banging on the door, like, let me out, let me out. And the teacher's aide heard that, came in, and she was like, do not cry. Don't waste your tears. Do not let them see you cry. And I sucked it up and I was like, okay, I'm going to get it together.
But that lives in your cells though.
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, because we moved. My dad was a machinist. We were
Okay.
not in the military, but we moved a lot because he would get laid off, and then
Get a
he'd
new
try to find
contract and
yeah try to find a new job. And I remember when we lived in Wilbur, Washington. It was my freshman sophomore year, and that we lived there. And then, but when we moved there the kids were not nice to me. It
see
was it
that
was this
exactly.
yeah, it was this small farming
Mm,
wheat is what they grew.
okay.
Uh and it was this huge wheat country and they were not nice to me. And I was sharing it when we were having my mom's memorial. They did things like it was the mini skirt era is when because I'm
Okay.
72. Mini skirt era. And so they stuck me in, they had these tall, up to my hip trash cans in the rooms. And they stuck me in one of those trash cans and pulled me out into the middle of the hall and just
No.
stood around, the boys, stood around waiting for me to get out. And I was wearing a mini skirt, of course. And so I just stood there. I just stood there
Oh,
until a
you
teacher
poor
came along
thing.
and help shooed the guys away and helped me get out. But
Oh,
and then another thing they did was push me in the boys' bathroom. And fortunately, I knew I had had experience with the principal in another school district.
oh, thank God.
And so, yeah, so he really was very helpful because,
That's good.
but yes, I understand that being bullied thing.
Yeah.
And I think think there are a lot of people who understand that. Yeah.
I think there are, because there's always that one kid that is either jealous of you or just wants to
Some,
make your life hell for whatever, for their enjoyment. Like there's always that one
right.
kid that will rally the others to just make your life a living hell.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so sad.
Isn't it though?
So I understand that though, because we have lived here almost 30 years and Fort Huachuca is just north of us.
Okay.
So, and I used to teach at the school there
My mom was
in
an
Corpus.
educator.
So I taught there for a couple of years and I taught at the college as well.
Okay.
So the other one was in Douglas, a border town. But yeah, those kids coming and going,
Mm-hmm.
from I I understand that. It was because a lot of them were, when they were 16 in Germany, they could go to the clubs. Well,
Yep.
you can't do that here.
Nope.
And they were really ticked off about that. I can't go to the clubs. But yeah, so oh boy, isn't life interesting?
Life is, isn't it?
Yeah, now I'm gonna go back to your book.
Yeah.
I I thought it was so poignant when you shared about your depression journey.
Yeah. That was a journey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so glad that your friend was there for you.
I know, me too. She's still my best friend to this day.
Oh, that's so great.
Hmm.
That's so great.
I've known her since I was 24,
Ah,
and
yes.
I'm 45 now. So we've been friends for over 20 years, and it's such a
Yeah.
blessing.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it
Yeah.
great to have somebody? You need at least one really great friend.
One really good one, you
Yeah,
know? Like I
right.
always say, no new friends, no new friends. We don't do that. But when I met Pyle, she just changed my mind a lot with regard to how good people can be. She's just a good person, a really
Yeah,
good friend.
yeah. And she was there for you when your mom died and your aunt
Yeah,
died.
she
Yeah,
was. She
that's
was.
what you need. You need somebody to be there for you.
And my mom adored her. She
So
did. I know.
great.
She was like the third sister.
Yeah, that's great. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Now, are you still, so you're 45, are you still working? And
Yes,
what do you
ma'am.
do?
I am the director of sales and customer success for a technology company here in Austin. We're based out of the Woodlands, though, Texas, but we are a remote first company, so everybody works from home. And I just actually met with my team in Vegas last week for a conference. So we do everything from disaster recovery as a service to co-location, all of that stuff. But by and large, I am just a salesperson by heart, by trade. That's what I do.
Admire that because I'm a terrible salesperson.
Everybody says that, but you don't know the power that you wield with your words and how you can weave a story and get someone to want to purchase something just because of the way that you tell the narrative. That's why
Yeah.
I love it because you can be so like experimental with how you pitch people. And for me, it's just all like a numbers game, really. Like how many people out of 10 can I get to say yes? If
Mm,
that's four, I consider that successful. Even if that's two or three, I'm still successful.
right.
It's
Yeah.
just the power of just using your voice to get your point across.
But what you're selling is not a product necessarily. It's some,
It's basically a software as a service or data center as a service, all of that stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a really, really right brain job and I'm really, really left brain minded. It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's like that too. He's an artist, but he loves the whole computer technology,
Yeah. My
world.
husband into that. He's got his PhD in computational linguistics.
Oh,
So
wow.
he does a lot of AI and machine learning kind of debugging
Mhm.
and things like that and doing code for that kind of stuff.
Wow. Oh,
I know. We're
my
a
husband doesn't
family
do
of
the
10.
code, but he helps them with their problems. If they're having Mac problems, he
Yes.
does it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. So your husband, wow.
Yeah, he's a real brainiac, that one. Yeah, he really is.
And you met him and got married a little bit older, and I could really relate to you saying you didn't want to have kids because my husband and I do not have children either.
Oh, you're like the first person I've met that is, older and made the decision early to not, procreate. And I
Yeah.
applaud you.
Well, I'm the oldest of my siblings.
Okay.
I have a brother and two sisters. And my two sisters are 10 and 13 years younger than I am. So I
Mm.
was the one when my parents went off to do church stuff in the evenings, I was the one who took care of everybody. And also, when they were babies, my mom didn't work until Celeste is the youngest. She was a little older and could go to daycare or something. And then my
Okay.
mom went
Okay.
back to work. But my mom worked when I was younger.
Oh, that of
Even
course
before
she
I went to
did.
so even before I went to school. And so, but when I would get home from school, mom had been with the kids all day, so she'd pass them off to me, and
Of course.
and so I took care of them. I fed them
Yeah.
and I changed their diapers and gave them baths and so that's I never told my mother this because she said, "Oh, you'll be so
Yeah.
sad that you didn't have any children." And I'm not sad. I'm not sad.
I never have been. There was a time right when I first had gotten married that we were entertaining the idea of
Hmm.
having children. Like it wasn't a hard no at that point.
Yeah,
But then as time wore on, I was just like, when I searched myself, I really came to the realization that not everybody has to have a child in order to be fulfilled as a human being, especially a woman. But it's really
right.
and truly to my core, I knew that I did not have that in me to be a
Mm-mm.
mom to a living thing. Like I have two dogs. They're more than enough. And I'm comfortable and happy with my situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've analyzed it since, and I think it's sort of like already been there, done that, with my
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah.
And all of our siblings, my husband's brother and my brother and two sisters all have children. They all have so we have
Yeah.
nieces and nephews, and we have grandnieces and nephews, and that's great. But I love children. I mean,
Yeah, I do too.
I taught, I worked as an aide in daycare centers and child development centers and Montessori schools before I went to college. And then I got a religious studies and theater degree and worked there and taught in parks and rec departments teaching little kids. And then I
Yeah.
got my education degree and I formally taught. I love them, but one of the high school kids one day in Douglas said, "How come you don't have kids?" And I said, "Well, it allows me to be here with you and then I can go home and be quiet."
Exactly. People don't understand like the power of being still and how
Hmm.
wonderful it is just to not, to not be worried about another human being. Yes, I worry about my husband. Yes, I worry about my brother and sisters, but by and large, I'm really, really happy with my choice.
Yes.
And I don't think that my life would be more enriched by having a little person calling me mom.
Well, and plus you have a career.
I do, but I mean, that people do it all. They have careers, they have
Hmm.
babies,
Right.
they do all this stuff. But for me, it just wasn't a priority and it just wasn't something I felt called to do. That just wasn't my ministry.
That's what Barry and I felt. We
Yeah.
didn't need because we both are artists and we both had things that we wanted to do with our lives that if we had children we wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because now my brother and sister, that have grandchildren. My youngest
Yes.
sister doesn't have grandchildren yet, but they take care of their grandkids, um,
Yeah.
and that's I I wouldn't want to do that. I'm sorry, but I didn't want
And
to do that.
I can relate to that on so many levels.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, h- so I was going to ask about your book again. Um, do you go on book tours? Do you have virtual book tours?
I have not gone on a book tour. I've just been doing podcasts now. Mind you, I still have done a couple of appearances at like Book People and
Mhm,
also at Half Price Books. I, had a signing there.
mhm.
And when the book launched, I had a book launch party, and that was an incredible experience. All my friends and associates came to that, and it was a good time. It wasn't a huge event, but I rented out a space and everybody came. If they wanted me to sign their book, they could. If they wanted to purchase a book, they could. And it was a really good way to get out there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Podcasting might be actually the best way because that way you don't have
I
to
think so.
travel all over the.
Yes. And I travel so much for work as it is. So anything to kind of mitigate more travel, I'm all about.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Now I have not sold a whole lot of my books. I'm not I don't know much about marketing, but I
Okay.
recently joined Prolific Writers Life. I met this woman as a podcast guest.
Okay.
And my husband and I joined as experts. But, you need help writing your book. So, how closely did you work with your editor that Amazon helped?
I had already had it finished by the time it got to Amazon for
Uh-huh.
publishing. All they did was fine tune any grammatical errors
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
fix any like weird sentence structure, that kind of thing. But my
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
mom was an English teacher, so I'm
Oh,
pretty good at writing because that's I learned from the best.
yeah,
So they didn't have to do way by much of editing the book. All they had to do is just look for errors. And I basically did that before giving it to them anyway.
yeah.
So it was how they really, really extended themselves to me was with the help of the cover and the help of it getting placed on
And the
Amazon.com and all that stuff.
layout. Yeah,
And the layout. Yes, absolutely. So that they were godsend for that purpose.
yes. Did you
Yeah.
have anybody read it before you gave it to them? To like,
Yes, I did. I had my husband read it, and I still don't think he's finished. The book is small, but at the end, I left the last chapter for him to read later. And he finally read it and he was like, so good. And I'm like, thank you. Finally, a year later.
yeah, yeah. Well, I kind of understand that whole thing because, I'm not sure my husband,
Okay.
I don't think I'm not sure he read the whole thing. Well, maybe he did because he helped me edit it. But it's not his kind of book. You know what I mean?
I
It's not.
understand. It's not for everybody. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get
and so I had a couple of women help me who I was at that time I was in a writers group.
Oh,
And
awesome.
these two women who were about my age helped me. They read the book and they helped me say, oh, well, the middle part is too detailed. You need to take some out to
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
the
yeah.
flow of because it's a novel. And but unfortunately they both died. So
Oh,
I I have now I have Prolific Writers Life to help if I need it, but I
okay,
also have
that's
another
good.
podcast guest who is a ghostwriter and she writes her own work too. And she
Wonderful.
has offered to help me with my sequel.
Well, at least you have
So,
a community of people.
yes, yes, I think that's really important. Now, are you going to write any other books?
I'm working on my second one right now. It's going to be either the second edition of Redbird or a sequel to Redbird.
Oh, cool. Oh, that'll be
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I've only gotten past like chapter 3 and I'm taking a break because my brain is fried.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
it's going to be a slower process than what it was with Redbird because at that point I had quit my job and had
mhm.
nothing but time and space to dedicate to Redbird.
Right.
But now that I have, a full-time career, it's been challenging trying to figure out when am I going to carve out time to really dedicate some thought and some precision to this next novel.
Yes, I
Yeah,
understand that because I have several balls in the air, and sometimes
always.
yeah, and sometimes my novel gets pushed to the side.
Yeah,
But
that's what's
yeah,
happening now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you have to think about it or you have to let it ruminate a little bit,
That's what
maybe.
I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to say that I didn't ask you?
No, I just really appreciate you like having me on your show and holding space for Redbird and for Deandra, me.
Yeah, and go, listeners, go read the book because it's really a wonderful book.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed it a lot.
I'm
So,
so glad.
yeah, and I'm not a real big memoir writer, but you're my second memoir guest. And so,
Oh,
yeah, and I enjoy both of them.
well,
So,
that's wonderful.
I
Hopefully
may
you'll
have,
have more memoirists on your show.
yes, right. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucinda. It's been a pleasure.
I hope you not only enjoyed this episode but gained something valuable to take away with you. If you like what you heard, please share it with your friends and give us a rating and or review. If you're a story lover too, I invite you to join my Patreon community at patreon.com/storypower, all one word. Or you might be interested in classic cinema with the Sage Sisters, a YouTube channel and Facebook page I started with my sister Celeste, where we choose one classic movie that we think still has lessons for us today. As you can see, I'm passionate about spreading the love of stories and completely believe what Philip Pullman said. After nourishment, shelter, and companionship, stories are the thing we need most in the world. Until next time, this is Lucinda Sage-Midgorden. Thanks for listening.